Thanks our viewers for joining us this Saturday evening. I'm Karagaba, Baldwins, and we're coming to you live from the Kampala Serena International Conference Center. Indeed, as you're there, seated in your hotel or at your home or anywhere else, definitely there's an issue about business. And we have an environment that is trying to be enhanced on how to make sure that there's proper registration, there's proper sustainability of businesses. But with URSB as our partner in this particular discussion we're going to have, we are asking ourselves, what do you do after you registered your business? Before we go into a live discussion, please let's have this preface and then we'll be right back.
According to Lean Methods Group, a research institute, it observes that the business world faces the following challenges in every continent all over the world. They are uncertainty, globalization threats, cash flow constraints, excessive government policy and regulation, technological volatility, market complexities, plus supply chains and strategic thinking problems. Every year, the world awaits a report on the ease of doing business from the World Bank, a ranking index of countries on how best they make registering, starting and doing a business. This ranking is an important indicator for prospective investors to use in deciding where to invest. Recently, export.gov, a United States web portal platform that supports its citizens and business companies in investment exportation decision-making, made a statement about Uganda's business environment. It states several challenges its companies face in Uganda, which include high levels of bureaucratic corruption, land-related fraud and corruption, infrastructure connectivity deficiencies, especially in the rural areas. The statement continues to assert that there is a lack of specialized skills in accordance with UNDP's 2018 Human Development Index, which ranked Uganda 162nd out of 189 countries. Then the statement cites inefficient government services considering the World Bank's 2018 Doing Business report, which ranked Uganda 127 out of 190 countries, 7 positions lower than the previous year. Uganda ranked below the average for sub-Saharan Africa in multiple evaluation categories. One of the key institutions in Uganda that deals with business environment governance, enablement and enhancement is the Uganda Registration Services Bureau. It is mandated under the Uganda Registration Services Bureau Act, Cap 210, to register all business entities in Uganda which are required by law to be registered. Nonetheless, the Bureau also holds the responsibility of post-registration monitoring and interface with these businesses, expected to ensure that there is an effective and business-friendly environment right from registration, gestation and maturation. With this responsibility, the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, URSB, in conjunction with NTV, have found it pertinent to have a comprehensive discussion about the onus that falls on business companies in the country to deliberately be compliant in its post-registration phase with the Bureau as a way of ensuring a better business environment and sustainability. You're welcome.
Thanks for being very prominent and wonderful viewers and for keeping us as your number one station. I'm Karagaba Baldwins once again. And if you're a business person out there or you are intending to run business, please, this is a very critical discussion for you. And go on our social media handles and follow us on this particular discussion and give us your correspondence about the topic. Right now, let me introduce my prolific panel of experts in this particular area from the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, representing their registration department. And in the middle, just right here on my left, I have Fiona Bayiga, the Director of Business Registration, URSB. Fiona, you're welcome.
Thank you, Baldwins. Good evening, viewers.
You're welcome. And Robert Mugabe, very interesting name, the Manager of Business Registration, URSB. Robert, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I hope you understand how fascinating and interesting your name is.
I do.
All right. So let me start with Fiona. You know, your core business is, especially in the area of registration, is to make sure that you register businesses, which of course supplementary to that, you have civil registration, you have liquidation management, intellectual property registration, and you register public and private companies, you register foreign companies. So somebody, even just by the title of your name, Uganda Registration Services Bureau, they would expect that the relationship with a business stops at registration. Why, in this case, as we're talking about post-business registration, do you have to stretch your relationship after registration?
Baldwins, it is true that we have the mandate to register businesses and legitimize the operationalization. And that indeed is the beginning of our relationship. Because in registering the business, we're giving birth to a legal person. And like persons, legal persons also start out as babies. So we have helped to birth this entity. It is a baby, and we cannot, as responsible parents, leave it without ensuring that it grows to be a healthy and a responsible citizen and contributor to the country and community. So our role is to guide this new baby, to if it needs to take it for immunization, we will, and to make sure that it grows. And part of that involves doing this post-registration compliance. But apart from that, the mandate that we have to register the business is under a law called the Companies Act. And the company also compels the businesses to do post-registration, post-incorporation registrations. And also, not only that, but the relationship that the company will have with third parties will also put them in a position where they have to do this. For example, your contractors, you may need certain documentation that you have to present to them. If you want to bid for a work, for example, with the PPDA, to get on their list of providers, your bankers will require you to have some of these registrations done post-incorporation. So our role is there to nurture and to look after this child, that it grows to maturity. And like you explained, part of our role is also to look after these companies when they are in dire straits or when they want to dissolve. So yes.
Okay, so you're trying to make sure that you avoid this statistic, very sad statistic, that companies die pretty easily, especially in their first year. Do you think that particular responsibility helps to assuage that difficulty?
We are convinced that it does, and that if companies do listen or reach out for our help, seek for our help, we can work together to ensure that they don't become a statistic. Okay. Yes.
All right, Robert Mugabe.
Yes, yes.
Very interesting political name in the international scope. So you have the articulation of the fact that this is a legal requirement because of the act, which is the Registration Act, which is demanding that you have companies registered, you have them making reports on the proceedings of their meetings and everything. So is this across the board on all companies of all forms, small, medium, and big or public listed companies? And is there a cost to this?
Thank you. There is a cost, but not all the time. I would say some companies do not necessarily have to carry a cost. For instance, you can easily get the forms you require to do the post-registration are actually free with the Uganda Registration Services Bureau. So if you want to access them, you can access them from our portal, from the premises, our registration premises, both at the head office and regional centers. We actually have these forms, so I could say that they are free, the preliminary part of it. However, when it comes to the registration fees, these entities bear the cost. It is a small cost. It's not so, I'm sure 20,000 for a resolution could be your breakfast, you in particular, but I know it's not so costly.
Yes,
so this
because you're talking about the people who are struggling and they want to break out of the briefcase business arrangement, and definitely somebody would wonder, why do I need to have a continuous payment of these small monies for those post-producers? That's what I'm asking. And it's quite a substantial amount that if because you're saying in 2017-2018 report of your performance, there are about 49,000, literally about 50,000 companies that have been registered. Then you have legal documents, which is like powers of attorney, deeds, constitutions, 38,000 registered. So if you multiply it with 20,000, you're making quite a hefty sum.
Interestingly, when you aggregate, it becomes some reasonable amount, but which goes to government coffers to help us also get other infrastructure like hospital, like good roads. But away from that, going back to the entities that face this, we have basically two groups of companies, I mean of businesses. We have business names, and the business names only deal with changes in particulars. At registration, you are born. In case you do any changes, you end up coming to report to us that, you know, it's no longer this address, it's no longer this partner, there is a new partner. So business names fill that form, which is simply changing the particulars. But for companies, it stretches from company decisions to shareholders, to directorship. All of that has to be informed. And the registrar of companies has to get that feedback, because it helps tomorrow when there is an investor who thinks that your business is something nice, very attractive. This investor relies on this information from the URSB to partner with you. So a small business, the one we are calling small, it can actually grow from nowhere, just from a decision taken by a potential investor by looking at these records. Yeah, so it's true we have small businesses that do not necessarily file so many documents apart from changes in particulars, address, proprietorship, and nature of business. But for the companies, in smaller language, normal language, Ugandan language, we would say a company is slightly bigger than a business name. So the company has a bigger onus. The Companies Act says, please, when you are done with registration, 14 days down the road, inform us of the address, give us your directors. If you have given shares to the members, give us a return of allotment. At the end of the year, file an annual return to give us status of what you are doing. So basically,
and we're going to dig deeper into all these particular specifications. And Fiona, now definitely when you look at what he's saying, and the person on the other side who feels that there is too much government interference or perhaps burden requirement on businesses, which is perhaps increasing the cost and worsening the ease of doing business in the country. And so this URSB requirement is also kind of an added burden on the business because you're asking for registration of those documents, company resolutions, company forms, stamp duty on transfer of shares, registration of transfer of shares, of course that's on bigger public listed companies, you know, powers of attorney. And the person keeps on trotting from office, is reporting to URA, reporting to KCCA, then has to report to URSB. Do you think that is really of any sensible help to the betterment of the business environment in the country?
Thank you, Baldwin. I'll start with your last comment. In order to provide ease of doing business for the ordinary man on the street, we have what we call a one-stop center on level 1 of URSB. And